The Garnet and Old Show, Thursday, 7 o'clock. Vince, I'm back. How are you, sir?
You're actually back in black, my friend.
I'm back in black, baby. Back from my
Uh,
cruise, back ready for action.
Garnet and Old, every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. No inside info, no contacts, no problem. We didn't have any problems last week, Ryan. Hopefully, you didn't have any problems on your cruise. I know you probably have, a story or two, and I want to make sure you get a chance because I'm sure they're going to be funny. I'm sure there's some funny stories to tell.
I do. I got a funny story. We'll get into FSU stuff here in a second, but real quick, I do want to let everyone know, please like and subscribe. Comments, send in your comments. Super chats, you want to be extra nice, send in some super chats. But yeah, I got some stories real quick. So I went on a 7-day cruise to the Bahamas, which the Bahamas day got rained out, Vince.
That's okay because you weren't getting off the ship anyway.
You may have seen the images of some other ships that got damaged going into the ports that day. Hull damage because of how bad the weather was. So we get to Mexico. Keep in mind, I'm going to tell this story, and this guy's wife might be listening, so this will be fun. He'll kill me, but that's okay. He'll forgive me too. So he's a lawyer. Keep that in mind.
Not Doug Rohan.
Not Rohan. No, it's not Rohan. I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
But he's a lawyer. We book an excursion, right, to go do a little Mayan tour, in Mexico.
Yeah.
So we get on the bus and they start handing out the little waiver forms, like every excursion known to man.
Yeah.
He's sitting in front of me in the seat in front of me, and I see he has a Coke bottle, and I see it starts to get squeezed. I'm like real frustrated, and I'm like, "Oh, I've already signed mine in 20 seconds. I didn't even read mine, Vince, and maybe that's not a good thing, but it's an excursion. There's 100 people on this bus.
Yeah.
All right." He starts Xing out sections with his pen.
He's redacting.
He's redacting.
He's redacting the
redlining the document.
Yeah. Okay.
So he does that. And he gets all the way through. He doesn't want his name and image to be potentially used for advertisements for the excursion in the future, all that kind of stuff. So the guy's coming back down the aisle to collect the papers. He signs, but only after scratching out about half the document. Now I see this happening. I haven't said a word yet, but I'm like, this is going to be, I wonder how this is going to go.
Yeah, because you're pretty much bringing everything to a dead halt at that.
Yeah. So the guy grabs it and just blank stares at it for about 5 seconds. Kind of, that like I'm dead inside, like
like
F
oh
my
god,
life
here we go. Yeah, here we go.
And I'll give him credit. He says nothing. He puts it in the back, away from all the other papers that he collected. He rips off a brand new paper and says, "You're going to have to sign this again." And he says, "I don't want to sign all these." He's like, "Well, it's required to go on the excursion. If you want to go, you have to sign."
Right.
I see that bottle, man. He's holding that bottle. It's shaking. His hand is shaking as he's signing what he thinks is his life away from a law standpoint. Now, Vince, I don't know if you know this about me, but I tend to be a little bit of an instigator sometimes.
Yeah. You're like Don King, the promoter.
So, I see the bottle shaking and I'm like, "Hey, man, look on the bright side. This is just like all the other college athletes. You're getting your NIL deal." And he didn't like that. He just kind of got more frustrated. He did turn in the paper, but then he, was talking to his wife like, "This is ridiculous." And everyone's just super uncomfortable on the bus. It went fine, but my man did not want to sign away his NIL, much like a Florida Gator. Like he was really nervous about signing that paperwork because he's not maybe sure of how they're going to handle it.
Defend the nest, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But so has Mr. Esquire on the bus there never been on a cruise before and never done an excursion before?
He has multiple.
This is nothing new.
Yeah, so I think you just catch him in the right mood and he's ready to destroy things.
Sure.
And then Vince, maybe I'll upload it by the end of the show. I don't have it ready to go, but I have a picture of me on the deck of the ship around midnight with a robe on. And just
that might not be meant for the show.
It's just showing chest hair. There's not.
Roger that.
But I was positive I was not drunk at the moment in which I took that picture.
Yeah.
But I was for sure drunk. But that's my story, Vince. That's all I got for now.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, it's good. There's nothing really other major besides that, and the Karen moment wasn't you. I mean, that's good. That's good. So you made it through.
I made it.
Welcome back. We were happy to have you join the show for a brief time while you enjoyed some beverage. And what was that, a breadstick or a pizza slice? I don't know what you
That
were
was
eating.
a crust of a pizza, and I was also may have been slightly intoxicated at the point. And I said, "I'm going to join the show."
Yeah, I'm sure Kristen was like, "Oh God, here we go." Mike Bartz, good evening, Mike. Thanks for joining the show tonight, and as usual, thanks for joining the show. Um, so to let everybody know, and we let everybody know this every week. Garnet and Old, because of all of you, is continuing to climb, and we are getting closer to our first milestone of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're currently 213 away. That is a huge. I'm telling you, you may not seem like a big deal to those of you that are out there are watching, but it's a big deal. So we appreciate everybody that's not only watching but subscribing, and also telling your Knoll friends about it, and tell some rival friends about it
Yep.
too. I mean, we have quite a few rivals that watch the show
Yeah.
because we don't get too overboard with that unless they really deserve it. So we're
And
getting
Vince,
close.
I will say that 1,000 subscribers doesn't sound like a lot to anyone other than anyone who's ever tried to start a YouTube channel.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on Reddit or Quora and type in like, how long did it take you to get to 1,000 subscribers? And my favorite are the comments that are like 10
I
years in
gave
and I'm
up.
at 21.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a testament, first of all, to us not giving up, first of all, when we could have. But also just for all of you out there that are sharing it out. And Ryan and I have said this from the very beginning. If there is anything additional you'd like to see in the show, since we meant this to be a fan type show, we really want to get some feedback on the types of things that would draw the interest of you and maybe some of your friends too. Do you get monetized at 1,000? So the way that works is at 500 users, you can start to do the super chat thing,
All of
right?
you can do right now.
Which
If you
you can
want to
do.
donate to the Garnet and Old cause, you can super chat
Yeah, you
today, my
can.
friend.
You can because you have the goodness of your heart. I don't know. But at 1,000, that's when YouTube starts to maybe throw a few um, advertisements our way. So yeah, Mike, that's kind of how it works there. And again, Ryan and I have said from the beginning, this was never a money making venture. It's more of a break even kind of venture. So
If it
if you're
was a money
interested,
making adventure, we would have stopped 3 years ago.
that's right.
Because we hovered around for the first year events. We were pretty much at like 20.
Yeah, and half of those were our family. So,
Yeah.
but I think that's the way all these start. So I'm
Mhm.
not ashamed of that at all.
Nope.
And we will continue to try to do things that are funny and fun. And oh, Mike jumping in here, look at him go.
Well done,
It's like
sir. Well done, Mike. That's what it's
if
about.
if you are of the age that I am, and I am the old part of this show, I kind of liken that to the Jerry Lewis Labor Day telethon. Roll the tote board. Mike Barch just contributed. Thank you, Mike. Really appreciate that. And we will get to a lot of comments throughout the show as well. So please throw them in there. I think, Ryan, we've given people enough time to kind of get in and maybe share it out. If you haven't already shared this out, retweet this, repost this, share it out, maybe get some other Knowles and other
Vin-
folks in the show as well.
Vince, we were going to start with something, and I see the order in which we had things in, but can I start out of
Yeah,
order?
we can go whatever order you want.
First of all, what are you drinking, Vince?
Whistle Pig, bourbon.
Well done. I
Yes.
have a nice glass of Dreaming Tree Cabernet.
Oh,
Mm.
man goes on a cruise and
Publix
he
finest. Vince, I haven't had, and you'll be surprised.
develops some fancy.
I have not had a drop of alcohol since Saturday.
Yeah. Um. Oh well. You probably didn't need to.
No, it built up in my system. It was ready to go.
Mike's joining the cause here. Was going to say hit the like button and share, fam. Absolutely.
All right, let's start out of order, Vince.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, you're gonna go. Okay, that's fine because this wasn't originally on the docket for tonight. That was not part of the docket tonight, so this show may go a little longer. Um, this we've been waiting a long, long time for this. And what is it that we've been waiting for, Ryan?
EA Sports, just to see the logo. EA Sports College Football 25. Vince, we had hoped, we had prayed. Some of you out there, and Vince is one of them, and I'm one of them. Every year for the last 10 years, because of the lack of a college football game, I have been loading out my old ass PlayStation 3, plugging her in and popping in the final NCAA football game from 10 years ago, which, by the way, with a USB drive, you can still put current rosters on. There is
Mhm.
still Operation Sports forums. You can still get the current rosters off of, which is incredible. That has been not out of want, but out of necessity. Now, is it still a great game? I still pretend that last NCAA football game, which I think was 13,
14.
14, one of the
Yeah.
greatest college football games of all time.
Yeah. Again, dating myself here, when I play that game, and I can't play it anymore actually because the only copy I had of it was for the Wii, and my Wii went belly up long, long ago. But until that time, I was playing that quite frequently. And with the kids when they were younger, they really enjoyed the mascot game where you could play the mascots against each other.
Yeah, with two buttons basically.
Yeah, it was the Wii All Play, and you didn't really have to know a lot of control stuff, and the kids loved it. But then all of a sudden, everything goes away, and I'm not a real big video game player in general, but college football game that is going to force me to actually get a new console. That's on the agenda, and then getting that game, and there will be other games I play too, but that's going to be the impetus for me to get back in the game.
Yours truly is a gamer. I actually, to my left here on a shelf here, I've got a Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, PlayStation 1, 3, 2, Xbox 3. I got a ton of consoles. So I am the prototypical millennial gamer. I'm 36 years old. I grew up with this crap. Uh, I have been annoying my wife every single summer saying, "Man, I
Every
miss
day,
I
really.
I miss going to GameStop midnight in July and getting in the new college football game." I mean, I used to do it. I used to take off work, Vince, show up at midnight at GameStop and get my copy of NCAA, and we would play it all night. Wake up the next day and do it all over again the whole day with me and my buddies. So it's gonna be amazing. And Vince, Florida State was not left out of the teaser trailer, which is live right now on EA Sports Twitter X profile. Florida State got a little shout out. That is in-game footage of our away uniforms.
That's correct. And again, it says down there, not the final, as the game is still in development. But yeah, I mean, there you go. Again, just continues to build the excitement. And that whole trailer there is kind of fun to watch. So if you haven't gone on X to watch that, I'm sure they have it on other social media channels as well. But the trailer they have for it is fun. I'm here in July. I'm here in July.
Yeah, that's when it used to come out. So that made early July. It was generally, if I
First week of
remember
July.
yeah, I think it was usually on on a Tuesday, which all for anyone who's a gamer, Tuesday is every game's release date of the week. So, but listen, Vince, I want to answer Philip Dugas, who says, "How about an Xbox or PlayStation giveaway? Here's what I'll do for all of you." And
This
Vince and
is
I haven't talked
fantastic.
about this.
We haven't. We're actually making this up as we go.
If we make it to 1,000 subscribers, which we are 215 away from doing, by May, when the official trailer comes out, I personally will give away one copy of NCAA football for Xbox One S or whatever, and one for PlayStation 5. I will purchase them myself and give them away live on the channel to one of you followers. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, share it out, tell your friends. Listen, we have 1,000 subs, but you know, anywhere from 100 to 150 people watch it live when we do it on Thursdays, and then a
Mhm.
lot more watch it after the fact.
Afterward, yeah.
That's a pretty high percentage chance of actually winning a free game.
No doubt.
So help us get to 1,000. I myself will purchase 2 copies of the game and give them away live on air.
What Ryan neglects to say is that on his cruise, he happened to find a lot of money somewhere, so
Mhm.
he's going to be funding the giveaway.
Happy to do it, Vince. And I do have
Um,
one other thing to say about NCAA.
oh, there's a couple other things. There's some comments we got to talk about here too, though.
Mm.
Mike Bartz, does anyone want to let me borrow their PS5?
Are you
Uh,
sure it's not out on PS4?
I don't know if it is or it isn't,
It might be.
but that would surprise me. But possibly. But Mike, I'm sure there are people. I don't know where you live, but I'm sure there are people around that will be available for you to partake. And he's not a big Madden fan, but you've that's all we've had. That's all we've had.
Hey, Vince, if we get to 2,000 subscribers by the time the trailer comes out,
Oh,
I will give away a PlayStation 5 with a copy of the game. And I'm not joking.
um, yeah, Brian's just giving it all away. Look at
But we,
that, people.
so 1,000 subscribers gets you a copy of the game given away. 2,000, you share it out, you blitz your friends, everyone who's a Noel, you tell them, I'll give away a PS5 with a copy of the game. Let's go. Share it out
That's
on
that
X.
sounds like a great idea. I think that's worth it.
Mhm.
The Garnet and Old PlayStation 5 giveaway coming to a screen near you.
Absolutely.
Um, it's good times.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you get the game, Vince? Like you boot it up, it's installed, you're ready to go.
As soon as I know what the date is of the release, I will be putting in my PTO request, and I will do exactly like I did it in college. So in college, in 90, it was 91, 92, when the Sega Genesis came out
Ugh.
and the first Madden came out.
Mm.
I don't think we went to class for a week.
Yeah.
So it's
No
it's kind
PTO,
of
no
that.
problem.
No PTO, no problem. No class, no grade. Um, but yeah, we spent a lot of time just playing Madden football all night long. And this will be kind of like that, except I'll probably have to do a little sleeping.
Now, Vince, this time I have already made up my mind because the capability is baked into the PlayStation 5 that I will on Twitch
Oh, oh, oh.
live stream
Mm.
my first playthrough of my
Okay.
first game of NCAA
We don't want to
football.
give away any of the secrets that might be happening when this game comes out.
I do want now, Vince. Do you agree we should do a review when it comes out? Me and you.
We're absolutely going to do a review. And we have some other special stuff planned as well. Raj taking PTO and working from home already. So you've got it right there ready to go. And we'll have to do a little FSU versus Miami.
Brad
Raj, you
Taylor
and I.
writes in and says, "Watching y'all on the computer, Dayton qualifying, which I'm assuming is
Rules on
racing,
TV. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
on TV. And
Mhm.
is this a great country? I couldn't agree more. And by the way,
Yeah.
YouTube TV, which is my television provider, for those of you who have YouTube TV, uh, before if you wanted the split view or 4 quad view, it was only available on certain game combinations. Like you couldn't do any game combination. It was like only certain networks. They are in beta testing where you can split or four screen any channel together.
Right. Right.
Man, we live in a great world for technology for football. Well, it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, I've told this story before, and I have some pictures of it. Back in the old days, I'd have to bring out the CRT TV from the bedroom, some other TVs, and put them all together to create my own NASA spot so I can watch a bunch of games. If we got to 3,000 subscribers, yeah, we would find some contacts for that. I'm pretty sure. Raj is all in on the FSU Miami game on the college football 25.
I
Raj,
think
that is
on the
that
game
is
though,
going to happen.
I think they're pre-programming in where Miami can't win more than 8 games on the game on the video game though.
Could be, and also if the game is at Miami, the audible or the sound noise only goes up to 3.
Yeah, there's no like you get distracted where it shakes or anything like that. There's no
My
squiggly
buddy
lines. In
Raj.
fact, the lines get thicker and the button numbers they get bigger.
Love you, Raj. You know
We
that.
we love you. All right, Vince. Any last words about NCAA football before we continue with our normally scheduled programming?
No, no. I mean, I was just excited. I know a lot of you are out there are excited too. And if you're not excited because you didn't really get into it before, because maybe college football game hasn't been around since you've been, able to play games, let me tell you, you are going to love what's about to happen. You need to get into it.
For next season, yeah, Brett Taylor on the video game. UF will be capped at 3 wins for the
That's
25
fantastic.
NCAA.
And Raj comes back. I love this, Raj. That might mean no matter how your seasons go, you still won't make the playoff. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. That is awesome.
We're number 13 on the 12 team.
And you know what? Yeah, no. What comes out is like Florida State is like undefeated, and there's this big build up to announcing who the playoffs are, and then right before there's this screen of Herb Street where the clown nose comes on, and it's like the Price is Right loser horn,
Hmm.
burr, 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 and his dog runs in and wags his tail.
Yeah, and then you're playing, Boise State in the
Yeah,
Liberty Bowl or something.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god,
Oh man,
this is why I love doing the show. Lucy, we have fun here. We
we
get
do,
loose.
we do.
All right, Vince. Let's talk about our first topic. So we all saw the news, Vince.
Yep, came out 2 days ago, maybe I think it was.
Hmm. I don't know about you, but I said, of course. When I found out that ESPN has signed, was it 6-year deal to be
6-year deal for $7.8 billion, I think it was. So it's
no influence at
roughly
all,
like 1.2 billion per year, I think, something like that,
which of
which
course
is a
means they
lot
have no
lower.
influence on the college football playoff.
Right. Which is a lot lower than what people were expecting that to be, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, so but the thing about it is, and it's not like a done deal yet. Um, that's what's been agreed upon, but it has not been approved and ratified,
We
whatever,
assume it will.
yeah, whatever the hurdles they need to go to, it's not completely a done deal yet. And part of that deal is that ESPN can actually sub out some of the other games. So they don't necessarily all have to be on an ESPN channel necessarily.
Which makes sense because of the partnership that they're making with Fox for college football access to different games.
They think they are,
Yeah,
but you saw today. I don't know if you saw today,
I
but
did. Yeah.
they the Department of Justice, or yeah, is going to be looking into that arrangement.
So, but here's the thing, Vince. I know you're not a big time gamer, but something similar this past year happened when Microsoft wanted to acquire Activision Blizzard.
Yeah,
Um, and I never thought that thing was going to get through, and it got pushed through. I mean, I think these things tend to work out when they have enough lobbyists out there, but that's not my area of expertise. But let's assume hypothetically, Vince, that this part of the deal goes through, and ESPN is the contract holder for the college football playoff,
pageant.
which yeah, pageant, which of course everyone who's not in the SEC is not enjoying that news.
No, I mean because the SEC is, they are thick as thieves with
Mhm.
that network, with that broadcast partner, and they look out for each other, and they don't look out for anybody else.
Right. What was your knee jerk reaction when you saw it?
I hope that it doesn't happen. I mean, that's my knee jerk reaction is, but I'm not shocked, right? You know, ESPN's laying off people left and right, but they have enough cash on hand to commit $7.8 billion or whatever it is.
Yeah,
But yet they're carving up their divisions, and they are, it's um this may be, maybe it's their final stand, like their final play to solidify the ground.
sure. Yeah, I mean, you start connecting the dots here. You see Kirk Herbstreit and Fowler hugging and jumping up and down when Alabama wins that football game. Then FSU gets left out in favor of Alabama. Then Nick Saban gets hired as an analyst at ESPN, and then ESPN signs a contract to be the college football playoff, provider, the pageant provider. Connect the dots here, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to see how these things may or may not come off. And for anyone who's like, well, Kurt Herbstreit and Fowler were just excited, guys, they watch exciting games every week.
Well, and if you ask Kirk, he watches more football than anybody else.
And he was just a fan in the moment. Well, have you ever seen them in the booth do that ever before? So again, connect the dots. Obviously, ESPN, their own president, John Skipper, in 2019 said that they try
Of
very
course,
hard to influence the
they
playoff.
absolutely do. And we're to beat a dead horse here, and we got probably mostly Knowles watching this show, so you're gonna think kind of like we do.
Yeah.
But if you're not a Knoll, it's easy enough to dismiss and say Florida State's whining, blah blah blah. They need to get over it, whatever. I'm telling you, look past the fan part of it and see the logical movement here. And if you see that logical movement, and then swap in whatever team you root
Right.
for, right? I'm telling you, it's not as far fetched as what people think.
It's not. And I mean, the more and more you see these contracts, the more and more uncomfortable I get with the current state of college football as a whole. Now, Vince, if I'm playing the NCAA football game, leave no doubt I'm going to be undefeated, and my quarterback won't be hurt because I turn off for injuries on dynasty mode. No fatigue, Vince. Zero fatigue,
Right.
zero injuries. DJ's going to take us to the promised land in NCAA football, the video game. But in real life, when we're reliant upon a network and a panel of experts to select who gets in and who doesn't, it's a beauty pageant.
Yeah. Somebody posted something on X about, I think it might have been Stuart Mandel or something like that, about you know what happens when you beat the game or you get to the highest level. And I had posted something in there about well, you get to go behind the closed doors of the college football pageant committee, and you get to lobby for teams, and you get to bring your dog sidekick with you.
Raj writes, I'm deleting the take a knee play from the video game for the Canes.
It
Well done,
shouldn't.
sir.
That's great self-deprecating humor there, my friend.
That was fantastic. That's a good joke. You should put
It is a
that,
good joke.
Raj. If I don't know if you have an X or Twitter account, just put it up there. That will probably get a few likes. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, Vince. Anything else to say about this? We're not surprised. It's kind of to be
No,
expected.
no. I mean, it will probably go through, and the only other thing I wanted to mention was about the government looking into this new streaming conglomeration that's trying to be put together. It's interesting, that part of it's interesting to me, that because we hear about Fox and ESPN being at odds all the time,
Mhm.
right? But here they are trying to work on something together. Makes me a little uncomfortable.
They both see the reason that this is happening, and this comes from a guy. Listen, we both work in IT. I follow IT more, like technology stories, more than anyone I know. Vince, I'm on every news site every day. I'm on Google News, The Verge, CNET. I'm on everything, Engadget,
Here's to
everything.
geeks, brother.
Here's the gigs. Absolutely. Cheers. So this is a transitionary move, Vince, to go from what they used to rely on, which was Comcast and cable subscribers subscribing, and Comcast having to pay X amount of dollars to ESPN or to Fox as a licensing agreement for them to allow them to show their network. This is a transitionary protection move to make it an easier move for them to go to direct consumer when it launches. Once they're in direct consumer, they know that people won't want to have a separate subscription for these teams and separate subscription for these teams. People are going to want to say, where do I watch college football? Much like NFL Sunday Ticket,
Right.
people are going to want to do that for college football. I've been dreaming about that reality my whole life, where I don't have to pay for cable. It's the only reason I subscribe to cable is for football through YouTube TV these days. But once you can say, I'm going to buy the college football, ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and Fox and ESPN and all these networks are agreed that they can share rights, well, then you have all those teams and all the games, and they split the revenue for the direct consumer model based on factors to be determined.
Or that's true. Or maybe it's something in this ilk, and I don't know how all this would work, but they're putting together this umbrella package.
Mm-hmm.
But within that, Fox has their station, ESPN
Sure.
has their station, Disney, whoever, right? CBS has their station. But it makes it easier for people to find the stuff.
And you can sign in maybe with one login and
Correct.
yeah, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And
Because
that way it's easier for them to know who's streaming from which service.
the last thing any of them want is fragmentation and confusion when people are trying to go direct to consumer.
I mean, it's hard enough as it is because we thought, I was one of the first people to look to cut the cable
Yeah.
because I was so tired of all that nonsense. Comcast is like my nemesis, right? But now, is it any better? It was better for a while, but now there are so many subscription services and it's ridiculous. It's out of hand. And I'm paying just as much as I was before. So this is fun. I have to put this up here. Go Knowles, LS Momo 55.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up just because first time I'm seeing them in the chat. So
yeah, Brett Taylor, memo to all. Brett can't type. Brett also basically letting everybody know he may have some issues with some of the things he's typing here. So I appreciate that. But LS Momo 55, welcome. I don't know that we've seen you on the show. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But welcome to the show.
Subscribe.
Please. Please.
But yeah, Vince, this is all about going direct to the consumer. In fact, head of ESPN broadcasting said so much about 6 months ago in an interview where he said, like, we're working towards a direct to consumer, direct getting these people what they want. Vince, right now, if I told Vince Ciccarelli, you can pay $150 or $200 a year and for the college football season, and you get every game in the power in like the main conferences, you would sign up in a heartbeat, right?
I would because I love college football. But for other things, you gotta weigh the opportunity cost of the cost of that because you can't sign up for every package for everything. At least I
To me
can't.
and my wife.
Roger that. Roger that. Hulu, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus. I mean, it's got it. Right. And thank God that my AT&T subscription or my AT&T package includes Max.
Don't forget AMC Plus. The new Walking Dead show just came out.
Unbelievable. It's coming out on the 25th, I think.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Separate. That's a non sequitur, though.
IPTV. Raj is adding some more to it. We got way too many things here.
I want to bring up a funny story, short one. Last season, you remember the girl who asked us if we got any of them free streaming channels links?
Yes.
Has.
Yes.
Oh man, that was one of my favorite comments ever. Do you guys have any links where I can watch the games for free? And she would not let it go. We'd say no, we don't do that, and she'd be like, "Come on, I need it."
It's like I'm like jonesing for this. It's like I'm in withdrawal. Trust me, there's stuff out there you can
give
find,
me that,
but I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to promote it, but it's definitely out there.
Oh well, Vince, shall we?
Let's move on. Let's move on.
You start off here, Vince, because I know that you saw some interviews while I was gone because they did a few player interviews while I was gone.
Yeah.
And then they've done a few more. So kick us off. What do we got going on?
Talk about a few of them. I mean, we start with DJ, right? I think we should start there. Laid back dude. Been around the block. And he said in the interview, like when he was being recruited to Florida State, he didn't need to see all the bells and whistles. Like he didn't care about the facilities, he didn't care about like the nutrition program. He just wanted to know, let's get to the ball part. Let's get to the football part. You can be jaded about the transfer portal for a lot of reasons, right? But one of the reasons I'm not jaded about it is because typically when a player's transferring in, either as a graduate or they're later in their career, like they have a singular focus. Like they want to, this is their last stand. They want to get better. They've tried to find the best opportunity that fits them the best. And they are all business. And while his interview wasn't, it wasn't boring at all because of that. It was very good. But you could just tell that about him. It's like he's been through all of the nonsense about recruiting, all the stuff that, that we just kind of shake our
touchdowns down there, the Dabo,
Yeah. And, Brian Kelly, like dancing next to a recruit and all this stuff. but he's past all that, and but he is laid back and well spoken, quiet, kind of a quiet spoken guy.
Yep.
Um, and of course, saying all the right things as typical older quarterbacks do, right? But it seemed to me, because I've watched a lot of interviews with players, very genuine, right? Very genuine, and not just about when they were asking him questions about him, but also when they were asking him questions about the rest of the quarterback room
Right.
and questions about about the team in general and the program in general and his relationship with Mike Norvell. Um, it's just, if you haven't, if you have the opportunity to watch any of the interviews, I recommend all of them, of course, because you get to know the players a little bit better. Um, uh, this is actually a side note. We're all fans. The more you kind of get to know the players a little
Yep.
bit, the more fun it is.
Yeah.
The more
That's why we
fun
all
it
like
is.
Jordan Travis so much. We had known him forever.
Yeah, and so you can just watch the game and know a number and just watch them play, and I think 55 is so and so. But if you've that's again one of the beauties of the time we live in. Like, we get to see these interviews and we get to see practice footage and we get to see these kids go out and work in the community and do charities and things like that. It just creates a greater connection, a greater bond with the team. So I recommend you doing it.
Brad Taylor writes in, he says, high school kids are out interviewing like it's a job out of college. DJU is that interviewing like a 40-year-old for an upper management position. Yeah, absolutely. He kind of gave me a little when EJ Manuel was here vibe. For
Yeah,
those of you that don't remember, like when EJ was actually playing, which was during my time at FSU when I was into my undergrad, um, very very quiet and professional, kind, and we had kind of a good run because even Drew Weatherford to a point, but Christian Ponder, really great guy, EJ Manuel, really great guy, and then you kind of got into Jameis, which kind of was like flashy, and we
yeah.
kind of went on a little flashy streak there for a while, but with DeAndre and all that stuff, that's a long time ago now.
Oh, and
Uh,
DeAndre's, yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, even James Blackman was pretty emotional. But watching DJU reminds me of a guy that knows exactly what he wanted, which we talked about this when Cam Ward and DJ were both, considering all options. Is that I told you on this very show, I said what I like about DJ is he's telling everyone out there, I want to go to FSU.
That's exactly right.
He said that not when they finally contacted him and said you're the one, but when he thought, let's be honest, they told him, hey, we kind of want to know what Cam Ward says first.
Sure, they were gonna wait to see what the options were.
And he still said the whole time, if FSU will have me, that's where I want to be. So, as a fan who sometimes you get a little disenchanted with the modern brand of college football, where it seems like there's no real allegiance and there's a lot of, the whole roster turns over year by
Especially
year.
nowadays, yeah.
It makes it a little easier to root for a player who comes to your team in the transfer portal. If the entire time from the moment he entered it, he's saying you're where I want to be, even if the school wasn't sure they wanted him
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, we definitely said those exact words, is like, "Give me a guy." Obviously, you gotta have the ability,
Hmm.
right? And you have to have the intangibles, you have to have the leadership, but give me a guy that wants to be here, um, because that is a stability in that room that needs it, it needs it. We're kind of in a bridge year, and, I don't think it could have worked out any better. Now, the season has to play out,
Sure.
but I don't think it could have worked out any better. If you were to ask me, would I rather have Cam Ward? I don't know that I would. Is he a great talent? Yeah, absolutely. I think Miami's super excited to have him, but I don't know that Florida State needs the unknown of Cam Ward.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Cam Ward fumbled like every other snap. Now that's being overzealous, but it was a lot of
Yeah.
fumbles. Like wasn't it like 17?
17, I think 17 turnovers, I think. But
That's a
I mean,
lot.
obviously his upside, his ceiling is ridiculously high, right? And
Yeah,
the question is whether you can get that from him. But I think from Florida State's standpoint, I don't think you need I don't think Florida State needs that that possibility.
yeah,
Like Florida State needs this next season to make sure the train keeps moving forward.
yep. Hey, Tomcat, thanks for writing in. He says, "Look what the coaching staff did with Travis from 21 to 22. Adding DJ would be, further along than he was." Now, hey, real quick,
Yeah.
Tomcat, I don't recognize your name. I haven't seen you before. Let us know. Are you new here, or is this your first time chatting in? No matter what, let us know if you're subscribed already. If not, hit that subscribe button. We want to see you every week. Let's have a conversation every week because I love the interaction.
It's going to be difficult as this climbs, Ryan. You're not going to be able to remember
I'm trying my best, but
everybody's names.
we have four, like probably about 20 people that we know their names by heart now. That
Yeah,
we're
because
not
they're
that
on
we
all
don't,
the time. Yeah.
that we don't know personally, that we don't have any like personal relationships with, that have been here for a long time now, and that
Yeah,
keeps
for sure.
increasing. But I'm going to try my best to be the personal touch channel that I
I'm going to hold
remember
you
who you
to it.
guys are. Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Ellis Momo 55 writes, "I'll take DJ over Cam. Cam reminds me of Ja'Cory Harris." Listen, I think the thing is with Cam. Listen, we would be just as excited if Cam had come here.
I would be. Yeah, I'm not lying
So
about that.
yeah,
I'd be excited about that too.
but we would have had more questions, and I wonder how it's going to go. And I believe if we had done wins and losses predictions, our potential floor would have been lower. We know exactly who DJ is. I know who he is. I've seen him play almost more than I care to for other teams. I mean, I've seen
Sure.
that much of him. He is one of those guys. Listen, he will have a 4 touchdown, 400-yard game, and then he will have a week. And when you're really frustrated, he's only passed for 189 yards and one touchdown, one interception. But what he does give you: ball security, big body, durable for the
Presence,
season,
presence,
and presence.
stability.
Now, maturity as well. What that means is he probably wouldn't be the best quarterback for a team who needed a quarterback to carry the team.
Absolutely correct. That's exactly what I was going to say.
But on a team like Clemson, because people forget his last year, Clemson, they went 10 wins in the regular season and 11 and won the
Mhm.
bowl game. So surround him with good players, good coaching, and a stable system. I'm starting to think our floor is at the 9 or 10 range, and we both
Yeah.
predicted undefeated is
Yeah.
possible.
The point you make about the fact that that the roster is at a way better place now, that we don't have to take a chance on a phenom that may fizzle out, right? That's very important. Um, Caution about DJ. He's a big guy, but he's not a runner. Weakness at Clemson was zone read. He didn't want to keep the ball when he shouldn't. He run the ball, but reads are not strength. Well, maybe he won't. First of all, I have supreme confidence in this coaching staff's ability to work with him. But secondly, a lot of the running that I think you may see DJ do would be, there's not a lot of reading going on. This is yours, buddy.
Yeah.
We need 2 yards, and you are a hulk of a man, and you are going to make that happen.
Now
So,
he did that well at uh, Oregon State. He had a struggle. I think at the time he was at Clemson, young, a lot of pressure because he was a 5-star recruit. He was looked to be the next Deshaun Watson and
mhm,
Trevor Lawrence and continue that train. I think a lot of Clemson fans were looking for that good times to continue to roll, and
yeah,
they were putting a lot on him. He goes to Oregon State. Look at the numbers he put up last year.
yeah, for sure. And Clemson at that point when DJ is kind of trying to take over, Clemson's a little bit of a turmoil with coaching changes and things like that. Like things are not well in Clemson. It's not what it was. So JT didn't want to do zone read last year either. Yeah, I mean there are people that think that too, that he was avoiding that. I don't. There's a question of whether he was avoiding it or whether the coaching staff was trying to avoid it for him because of his ability to get hurt. We're not in the locker room, so we don't know that.
Another new one, Andre Bugs. I haven't seen
Andre
your name
Bugs.
in here.
Hello, Andre.
Let
Welcome
me
to the
know if
show.
you're new and subscribe to the channel. But comment and let me know if you're new to the channel. I think DJ will get the other athletes involved. Cam Ward would be more of a one man show
Yeah.
than DJ. I agree. I think Mike Norvell has shown that this is not the one man show. Guys, we won the freaking ACC championship with essentially no quarterback.
If you think about it, think about the coaching
Yeah.
that had to happen for that. And I don't care, Florida's down absolutely, but it's still a rivalry game, and they have talent on that team. They are just a complete mess. Coaching won that game, and then Louisville. Say what you want. That team was scoring on everybody, just about.
People were predicting before Jordan Travis got injured that if we played Louisville, we might lose that game.
With Jordan Travis.
We beat them with essentially the equivalent of no quarterback because it ended up being Toafili who saved our asses in that game.
That was a wonderful night, Ryan.
For Toafili.
Everything was in front of us.
We won
that game. Won that game, and we were so naive.
Such a sweet boy back then. Sweet man.
Brett Taylor is subscribed. Highly recommend it. It is painless and free to subscribe. Yes, Brett, you're correct. It is painless and free.
The worst pain you have to listen to is our voices every week. That's about it.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome stuff. Some other interviews. I watched the other quarterback, the preferred walk-on, Trevor Johnson.
Yeah, he's the walk-on that was actually a 4-star combined cumulative athlete. Yeah, so.
Yeah, he was actually committed to Ole Miss or something like that, and he chose a preferred walk-on.
That's a
spot.
That's a bold move.
Listen, let me tell you, when your program is getting three-star and 4-star guys that have actual committable offers to other schools, like scholarship offers, to be a preferred walk-on at your school, things are going in the right direction. And NIL helps with a lot of this, by the way.
Speaking of Jordan Travis, Vince.
Oh, hold on a second. I got to give a shout out here. Carter, great to see you, Vince. Great information and fun to hear discussion. Thank you, Carter. I appreciate you watching the show, and I haven't seen you in a while. Former marching chief buddy of mine. Marching chiefs all the damn time. Send chiefs all the damn time. Thank you, Carter. I really appreciate you watching.
Speaking of Jordan Travis, for those of you who didn't see it, he was working out pretty hard for the getting right for the NFL. He looks pretty good. He was doing more intense workouts than I could do on a fully healthy, leg. So
yeah,
I'm glad to see it. I hope Jordan Travis gets a shot at the NFL. I really do. If not, come back and coach for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Vince, I need to bring this up before I forget. Not a topic today. Who is the potential hire with South Florida ties that they're talking about today?
Potential hire.
We don't know yet, right?
I don't think we know yet. I saw that and I got so tied up at work today. But if anybody in the chat knows who they're talking about, that I don't recall. However, we haven't really talked about this, I don't think. But one Rick Stockstill has become a staffer for Florida State.
Should I tell the story or should you?
Nah, we're just let it go for now.
You don't want me to?
No, we're let it go for now.
Okay.
We'll let it go for now. If something comes out of it, it does.
No, not that. Just the connection.
Well, that's why I'm saying maybe we hold off on.
Let's just say we know someone who knows him.
Yeah, good.
And so we have
that's
a connection.
A good call.
Yeah.
That's a good call. Ernie Sims or maybe wishful thinking. I don't know. Again, like I haven't really dug into that. Let's wrap up the interview things because we're going kind of long on that, and we'll maybe use another show to talk more about the interviews later. But just the general, the ones that I've seen, just an impressive group of kids, man. Just an impressive group of kids have their head on right, saying the right things, well spoken, and just seem to love football. And a lot of them that I listened to were multi-sport athlete stars at their schools.
Yeah, there's a trend with that.
which is I love to see it. Love
Yeah,
to see it.
great. All right. You want to move on, Vince?
Yeah, we can move on.
Go ahead. You kick us off with this one.
Yeah, not much to say here except that the answers the answers from Florida State and from the ACC are due in court tomorrow. And so, as we all know, we've been hearing this nonstop. We've had Doug Rohan on our show multiple times to talk about the legal filings for Florida State against the ACC and the ACC against Florida State. Well, and then you had the amendments,
Mm-hmm.
right? So each group filed, and then you had amendments that each group filed or each side filed. And now, February 16th, I believe, is the date where the answers to those amendments are due in court. And so after that, and Doug can talk when we have Doug on again. Doug can talk about the fact is does that close the door now to additional amendments or whatever at this point then. And I know that we have a court date in North Carolina,
Yep.
and that is in March 24th, maybe. Can't remember the day, but there's an actual court date in North Carolina coming up as well. Ryan, I know you were on a cruise ship. Did you actually watch last week's show yet? Did you get
I
a
went
chance
back
to
and
watch
watched
it?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot. Doug provided a ton of good info on where we are. And so if you haven't watched that show, go back and watch last week's show if you want to get caught up on the legal
It's
stuff.
still current because until those answers come tomorrow,
Yeah, nothing new has happened.
nothing new has happened. So if you want to know where it stands as of today, after the show is over, go back and watch last week's show where Doug did a show with Vince and talked all about it for quite a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I read something about Philip, and I read something about FSU issuing bonds as well. There was a pretty long X post yesterday from someone, and actually, I think that person that made that post is going to be on the Big 12 Mafia show tomorrow
Friend of
night.
the
I
show.
think. Yeah, I think that person's going to be on that show tomorrow night. I read through it, and there's some bonds possibly being issued by Florida State that may or may not be tied to this, and maybe may not be tied to medical health facility and some other stuff too. But yeah,
If you would like to watch that, follow our friend Nathan Bomber Brown, who's been on our show. He's been on their show
mhm.
at Big 12 Mafia.
Yeah, and their show I think is tomorrow evening. I don't know if it's at 7 or at 8.
I think 8.
Yeah.
Really good show. Just channel to follow in general. He has all kinds of interviews on there. Really good guy. Nathan Bomber Brown is a fantastic human being.
Yeah, it's been fun to be on their show. It's fun to have them on here, and it's been fun to watch the cross pollination of FSU people on the Big 12 stuff, and the Big 12 people are. It's been a lot of. That's why I love this. That's why I love this college football fandom in general, and the technology allows us to interact.
Keep in mind, if something big happened with this law case, Vince and I will hop on probably with Doug Rohan as soon as he's freed up because he's a popular man on the FSU sphere now, man. He's on all of them and he's on all our friends' shows. We love Doug, but his time is precious. So it's news broke that we would have a show. I want to promise everyone that.
Tomcat's got a question here, and I'm not sure. Is this related to the cruise?
All right. All right, I'm going to answer. I'm going to read this out. Tomcat, thank you for the question.
I think this is related to cruising. I'm not sure, though.
This is related to my cruise.
Yeah.
Do they still pull the bait and switch on desserts? The first day is great and the last day is great, and in between is ice cream. So here's the thing. I can't say this 100% to be true. What I have noticed is the buffet on any ship, day one, usually is incredible. And the final day, they're usually anything they had left from the usually the formal night is the night before the final night in the buffet. And so you see a lot of those items on there. So I think the final day's food and desserts being better are a byproduct of formal night leftovers from the day before that they need to get rid of the product. The first day, I think it's just they're trying. I think you're
trying to
just
wow
hungry.
you.
No, I just think you're hungry the first day. The reason
Hey,
why it's not as good in the middle of the week is because you're disgustingly full. You already had 2 breakfasts, and now you're going to get lunch and dessert, and you're looking at them, and they don't look as appetizing. You're like, I don't think they're as good. I just think you're stuffed, and you probably shouldn't be eating. Now, do you still eat? Absolutely. That's what a cruise ship's all about. But I'm going to push back a little bit. I think it's more of a mindset of how hungry you are when you're looking at it.
let me tell you, I've been on a number of cruises, and if you're not a cruise person, I get it because some people don't like them. But there's very few things like walking up the ramp on the first day of your cruise and
Mm,
knowing the buffet is waiting for you,
yeah.
and the world is your oyster at that point. Now, you can overdo it, and you can make things really poor for yourself. But there's really not much like that first
Let me point out the recipe for disaster on day 1 of a cruise.
day. We're going back to the cruise.
You get on board, you have the drink package. You've never been on a cruise before.
Mm,
You say,
get the
you
drink
know,
package, people.
that means I'm going to get destroyed day 1. I'm just going to have it's party time. And you start drinking and you
Yeah,
start drinking the
yeah,
sugary drinks, the pina
yep.
coladas,
Hmm.
the Miami
The sail
Vices,
away drink,
the
whatever it
sail
is.
away drinks. You get started on the red drink. You get some of those, and then you're like, I'm going to go stuff myself. I'm going to get as much food as I can.
I'm gonna go to the Asian station
Yep.
and the Mexican station, the pasta bar. You're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna go around the world and make it happen.
And then when you're all done with that, as you continue to drink those sugary drinks, you say, all right, let's go to the pool deck party. And you know what? Who needs sunscreen? Nobody. And you wake up on day 2 saying, I'm hungover. I can't get off the toilet and
And
I'm
you have a
sunburned.
third-degree burn.
Yeah, I've seen it, guys. I've seen it. Now, was that potentially me on my first cruise? Absolutely. That was me. This was cruise number 18 for me. Now I get on and I say, here's what my drinking days will be. It'll be on a day in which I have a sea day the next day where I can sleep in and relax, sunscreen, reapplications like crazy. And instead of going crazy on the buffet, I'm going to go get 2 slices of pizza. I am going to go get a regular mixed drink, perhaps a mojito, something not too sweet,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something delicious. Couple glasses of wine at dinner and maybe 2 drinks at the show. Spread them out. Guys, you do that every day, you're right as rain. You don't have to worry about it. It's the sugary drinks that get you.
Here's what we gotta do. We're gonna have a Garnet and Old offshoot show called Cruising with the Knowles or something.
I like
'Cause
Tomcat just says yes.
yes, exactly. So
We
let's
are
move on.
also no plan, guys. No play. This is just fun. How about a Garden and Old cruise? Hmm?
You know me, I'm always down for a cruise.
If Vince and I did a cruise and we did a show live streaming from a cruise ship with a few drinks in us, I promise you it would be the most entertaining. And it used to not be possible. But Vince,
Yeah.
was I not clear in HD when I joined that show last
No,
week?
you were good. You were good. I was surprised. I was
Mm.
surprised.
Tell me if you guys in the comment section would you watch Vince and I drunk on a cruise do a Garnet and Old episode?
Oh gosh. Yeah, that would be fun. Just being on the cruise would be fun. Doing a show would be icing on the cake from the buffet.
All right, let's wrap up here, Vince.
Big Knoll Sports Weekend.
Boom.
Boom. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's look at this. So, speaking of uniforms,
Mm.
and our friend Tarif Knockout, by the way, if you don't follow Tarif on Twitter, please do. Tarif is a big fan of the Garnet pants. Pack the Garnet pants. When it comes to football, pack
Hmm.
the Garnet pants. Pack the Garnet pants. It's a solid look. Baseball team has got their own version of this, and they're going to be wearing these tomorrow night. I believe it's the first time they're wearing all Garnet. I may not be totally sure about that, but that is a clean,
I give
clean,
that 10
clean
out
look.
of 10, Vince, and I'm pretty hard on jerseys.
Yeah,
Like this year's football jerseys this past year, good. 8.5 out of 10. Not quite as good as the 2013 season because they don't look the same and there's some differences. But overall colors, 8.5 out of 10. That
that's solid, man.
that's if I designed a baseball jersey, what it would look like.
Yeah, you don't need all the nonsense.
You don't need
You
the
got
frills,
Garnet
you don't
on
need the
Garnet.
little patterns. You don't no. Colors only. Perfect.
You got Garnet on Garnet. That's going to be a clean look. Um, the Clearwater Invitational is going on currently in your neck of the woods, Ryan. I'm surprised you're not going to any of those games this weekend.
Here's the thing. I don't know if you noticed or not, but the entire state of Florida is going to be in a deluge of rain Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, well, I'm going to try to avoid that. I didn't realize that
90%,
was happening.
90%, the entire state of Florida.
Okay.
Hmm.
So the softball team is in a tournament that they've been in. I think this tournament's been going on for 5 years or so, and they've been in it every year. And they won today. They beat Stanford. The softball team is currently ranked number 5. Stanford's number 9. So they had a top 10 win tonight. They beat Stanford, who is going to be a conference mate next year, which is whatever.
Weird. It's weird.
They beat them 4-0 tonight, and then the softball team has some more games throughout the weekend. The baseball team opening night is tomorrow. It's fantastic. The basketball team is playing. I think they're playing Duke this weekend at Florida State, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's Saturday at 2:00. They're playing Duke, and the women's basketball team is playing Wake Forest away. That's tonight. Actually, they should be playing. Oh, they already played.
Yeah. Brett Taylor is reminding us that FSU is a golf school. Hey, listen, golf season's kicking up. I don't know if Vince is much of a golf fan. I watch golf. It's almost Master season for those of you. I mean, and it's Vern Lundquist's last call of the Masters.
That's right. That's right.
Brooks Koepka, represent FSU. I'll be pulling for him. It's a little sassy. Brooks is a little sassy. He's not the nicest guy in the world, but he's an FSU alum that never talks about FSU, but he is an alum. So I'm going to pull for him at the Masters. He's my pick. But for all you golf fans out there, there's not many of us that I feel like in my sphere, at least. Big golf fan here.
Women's basketball team won 71-63 tonight, and then they're playing Miami on Sunday. So, I mean, there's just tons of Florida State stuff going on. The basketball teams kind of ran into a little bit of a road bump in the last few games.
Yep.
Both of them. The women won tonight, but yeah. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes for them. But softball starting off strong after losing their opener against Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then the baseball team opening day is tomorrow.
Vince, will you be going to any games?
We've already gone to which sport?
Any of them. Any of these.
Yeah, we've already gone to some basketball games this season. Have not really made any plans to go to any baseball or softball games, but I would love to. Maybe make that happen.
Two things I want to show real quick as a final. It's not going to work right now. I forgot you have to convert them. I'm not going to do it. If you guys haven't seen, go on the FSU Doe Campbell renovation.
Yes, I had them, and I didn't have them in the right format.
I hate that about StreamYard. For those streamers out there, you would think StreamYard doesn't want you to share stuff. JPEGs, not happening.
Not happening. But a PDF you can share. It's
which
weird.
Makes no sense. But yes, so Doe Campbell, the entire east sidelines don't exist anymore. It's gone.
They're gone.
Which is great because modern amenities, and I've seen the pictures, the renditions of what it's going to look like, and it's going to be beautiful. Vince, I do have some sad news to announce today. Tomorrow is the final day to renew your season tickets. I will not be renewing. The reasons. Now, I'm still going to be a booster. So the booster contribution because I believe in supporting the school. But
I think you're going to lose your Garnet and Gold status, my friend.
No, this isn't happening. On the call, based on my booster level, I had my one-on-one call, Vince.
Oh, you did?
I forced it. I called them. I am not going to pay the exact same amount that I've been paying for East Sideline tickets to sit in the away section, not just the West Sidelines, the away section.
Yeah.
At the very top. It ain't happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the games that I want to go to this year, probably 3 or 4. I'm going to StubHub it up and sit wherever the hell I want. Maybe a Champions Club visit. Maybe.
I don't blame you.
And I'm going to buy parking tickets on StubHub. And then the following year when things reopen, I will then become a season ticket holder again. I'm just not paying, and it's not a small sum of money to be a season ticket holder and a booster and all this, to have worse seats where I'm burning in the sun all day. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, hey, everybody to each their own. To each their own. I will hold down the fort
I will still
while
be in the
you
lot when I go to the games, Vince.
while
I'll
you
just
StubHub the tickets.
I'll just stub up
Yeah,
the tickets like I did, before I was in that lot. It's
that's
just
fine.
I cannot in good faith pay the same amount for the tickets that they were offering me. I said, "Can you put me anywhere else in the west sidelines, like, or even the south end zone?" And they're like, "No, you're level. You get the away
Hmm,
section. That's what you get." And I said, "Vince, here's the best part." I said, "I would like to move up to the Champions Club then. Let's go ahead and do it." They said,
mhm.
"Can't do it." It's like, "What do you mean I can't do it? I'm
No
willing to make."
spots.
He's like, "Oh, we're not taking any more Champions Club members until a full season from now." It's like, "So even if I wanted to give you more money and time for you won't let me." Correct. That's what made up my mind. Vince, I was ready to drop 6 grand on
Wow.
Champions
You
Club.
did find some money in the Caribbean.
Hey, listen, I sold my house.
That's true.
But yeah, so you can't get Champions Club even if you want it right now.
Um, that is a sad story, but we'll make it work because you have to be there because we promised everybody we
I'll
were
be
doing
there.
shows.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Um, so we announced this last week. Doug, I let Doug do the announcement last week
Hmm.
that coming soon to a Seminole booster uh, contribution near you, you're going to be able to choose the Marching Chiefs as a coaches club. And so all this effort, all this barking, all this trying to momentum to get Chiefs to as many games as possible is starting to show some progress. This is a great thing because, Marching Chiefs alumni, like, great, we're giving money to the Chiefs. But what about the fandom as a whole? Like, they may not even think about the Chiefs because they're not going and looking for the avenues to give to the Chiefs. But it's going to be front and center for them as a coaches club for them to donate to the Chiefs for the Chiefs to be able to travel. I don't think it's available yet. I haven't heard that it's available yet, but eventually, at some point early this year, you will be able to donate directly to the Marching Chiefs so we can send Chiefs all the damn.
Thank you, Tomcat. You're right. So I don't blame you. StubHub it every year. Now, listen, I like the convenience of knowing where my seats are every time and my parking lot. I like all that. This is more of
It's a principle of the
it's
thing.
a principle and a value stance where
Ryan is making a stand.
if they had said, "Mr. Eastman, same booster contribution, but you know what, $100 less per seat, and we'll move you over here just for 1 year, and then would come on back when it's
Yeah.
time, and maybe even move up a level. Hell, even commit now to it." But to tell me you're going to pay the same amount for home side tickets and sit with the away team, I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for all the good that is gonna come out of this, and I think all the good momentum that's happening right now, there might be some lessons to learn there from a customer service perspective from the boosters. I'm
And
sorry,
today,
from the ticket
and
office.
today I texted my person at the ticket office and I said, "Yeah, I've decided not to renew." And he replied, "Thank you."
Hmm,
So that's what you get over there.
that's tough.
Not a reflection on the FSU football program as a whole. I just think that they need some help on the booster ticket holder side.
So let's wrap this show up. I want to thank Mike Bartz again for super chatting us. That's super great. And I believe if you're still looking for some more Knoll content tonight, I believe Renegade Report has got a show going on. If
Right
you want
now,
to, I think so.
yeah.
I think they do. So if
Friend of
you
the
want to
show,
jump,
Renegade Report. Say hi to if you go on over to the Renegade Report, you put in the comments and you say Garnet and Old sent me here.
sent me over here. Absolutely do it. They are actually it's Spiratics that's doing a show right now.
Same
Same
thing.
thing though. Same thing. If you go over there, Spiratics and watch their live show, say, hey, the Garnet and Old guys told us to come over here and hang out.
They're awesome,
Yeah, they're
and we
good people.
appreciate their help. They've been on our channel again. We're a community here in the FSU podcasting family. So thanks for supporting. And hey, again, hate to beat a dead horse. Like and subscribe. Let's get us to the 1,000. We're 215 subscriptions short, maybe less by now. I don't know. I haven't checked in the last hour. And again, if we get there before the main trailer is
Oh boy.
released for NCAA football in May, I will give away some copies of the game. And if we get to 2,000, I'll give away a PS5 with it. Or Xbox, whatever the person wins, whatever they want.
Yeah, fantastic. You heard
And
it
not
here.
the cheap one, Series X.
Yeah, not the digital edition.
Yeah, I'm getting you the real thing. Big Papa East has got you. Kanye East.
I think we're good, Ryan. Welcome
Yes.
back.
It's good to be back. We had fun tonight. This was a good show.
We did. Thanks everybody for chiming in. Send Chiefs all the damn time, and go Knowles.
Go Knowles.